For a very long time I drove to this. This is certainly not some kind of boring car. Open it. This car is a superstar. With all the ensuing consequences. A bit of history? Easily. Moreover, it is interesting. It all started with the Moskvich 412, whose production was launched in Izhevsk in 1967. The car was amazing, for the time. But the national economy needed a truck. Not a station wagon, but a truck. And so, in 1972, the first heels were released. Monocoque body, stamped panels, ideal proportions for a hard worker. By the way, the car was produced for 29 years, almost 2.5 million cars were produced. This particular machine is the latest generation. Why is it unique, you ask? The fact that it did not go at all. It is like from the factory. By the way, the car was presented to the director of a local transport company as a souvenir, and was not used for its intended purpose. Meanwhile, the purpose of heel or pie is the most utilitarian, to deliver voluminous, but not heavy loads to points, more often catering. More often there were pies, and therefore pie. Its carrying capacity was 1,000 to 1,100 pounds. Heel is something Moscow. Let's get under the hood right away. 2. God, who did this? Who hung the fuse box here? Get under the hood to enjoy the cleanliness. The car was discontinued in 2001, which means you have no chance to enjoy such beauty. I'm sure you're sorry right now, but what can we do? But of course, it is painted simply magically. You run your finger, and the paint remains on your hands. Of course, everything under the hood is the same as in 1966, except for minor changes associated with the development of new plastic devices. And the motor remained as it was, USAM 412, a 4-cylinder, inline, overhead valve engine with wet sleeves, with a chain. Of course, the volume is already 100 cubic inches, but the power is 75 horses. The motor is installed with a small blockage, which allows you to save space. Yes, the car was made, to put it mildly, carelessly. By the way, pay attention, on the cover it is no longer written UMZ, but UMPO, Ufa Motor Production Association. Maybe, of course, I was mistaken, but this is already after the renaming of the plant. Yeah. Both pride and sadness. But this is not just heel. It didn't work out. It is cargo passenger. During the day you can transport people, and a lot. How many people will fit in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people with a driver. Since this is an early version of the passenger and freight model, there is only one bench here. In later ones there are 2. Photos can be viewed online. CAR 1998 release. This is the time of acceleration of the market economy. The smell of change already stinks. Cooperatives are a thing of the past. We are slowly finishing our vodka royal. What influenced the creation of this miracle the most? I have no idea, but a fact is a fact. To be honest, it's complete hell. Complete. Can you imagine what it's like to ride here in the heat? Now it's about 60 degrees outside and I'm already feeling sick from gasoline fumes. No, I'm actually fine. That youngster who did not like the smell of gasoline is bad. There is a handle to hold on to make it easier to ride. Soft headrest. On the other side, there is also a handle. But how this issue is resolved, it just needs to be seen. How to solve this issue? It just fell off. And the bench goes up. Brilliant. Simply brilliant. And what a design. People with crooked hands? But in general, everything is probably fine. The window that opens seems to open. It is possible to transport Mexicans across the border in this car, I think. They also took care of the safety of the immured. They even specifically noted that this pipe was for short-term transportation of passengers. Well, let's see what they have done for this. So, instead of blind doors, you saw the windows. The glass in the partition separating the cabin from the cargo compartment also became movable. In the cabin at the level of the passengers' heads they were placed. I already talked about them, additional soft lining, and under the ceiling, a ceiling light. Probably the only way. Perfect. Just perfect. Virgin nuts, they didn't even know love with a wrench. What a beauty, everything is factory. Even the markings on the rubber are factory. Sorry. No words, just emoji. It is a pity that the camera does not transmit the smell. It smells like a new Soviet car. If I were an automaker, I would release an air freshener with the smell of a Soviet car. It makes me want to cry. I understand that this is a car of the 98th year of production, but it was already being made, as it were, in the agony of some overtaking of the capitalist future. Again, I understand all this, that's how it was. But why is everything so weird? Have you seen how seatbelts are made? What's this? What is this? I don't understand. Why is everything so idiotic? Again, I understand that the inertial seatbelt was not provided for in the design of the car, but somehow it was necessary to solve this issue more elegantly. And how do you like tired visors? Seats from IZH Oda. Although in fact it is the 412th, but they are without headrests, because the headrests did not fit. The interior of the car is ordinary, like interior in Moskvich. The only, most important thing is that you see it in the form that it should be, without bad taste, without caring tuning. I would say standard. 2 seats with adjustments, a torpedo with classic instruments. Everything is nice and familiar. 1998, my dear gentlemen, comrades. Well, at least the spare tire is not stuck here. Right here, behind the back seat. They didn't put anything in here. Not spacious, not comfortable. But what to do? I don't want to say bad things about the car, but for some reason it doesn't work. Okay. And the sound of the engine. Amazing engine, by the way. At low speeds, it always lacks something. But if you unwind it, it's just a bomb. And it's all about the design of the engine. For example, the same camshafts with wide valve timing, 280 to 280. With ideal nutrition and combustion, the effect of pseudo-turbocharging appears at high speeds, but at medium, less than 3,500 RPM, and especially low RPM, everything becomes sad. Therefore, Moskvich is Kosmich, and Vaz is Taz, and here are the springs. What a charm. I remember that in my youth, my wife's brother Sasha, he had exactly the same one, loaded it up to the very ceiling, and in Krasnogorsk, when he was sliding down the hill, they put it on its side. Here it is. Crazy youth. By the way, since then I've been afraid of heels. Up front are springs and drum brakes. More often they slowed down in different ways, because IZH were labor machines, and they simply squeezed everything out of them, not caring much about the condition and malfunction. Meanwhile, in the production of heel came out more expensive than the Ulyanovsk Tadpole UAZ3303 or even GAZ51, but this is by the way. What else do I want to say? Sitting is uncomfortable. It feels like the car was designed specifically for people who have slightly shorter legs. Visibility is mediocre. Very small mirrors. Otherwise, of course, this is a comfortable car. By the way, it is for sale, which is the most interesting thing. Try to guess the price. $5,500 for a collectible car. But you know, it is worth it. Another interesting fact, IZH 2715 was the only, as they would say today, commercial pickup truck of the USSR. The rest were made at repair plants, and no one produced an industrial one. IZH 2715 replaced Moskvich 434 and AZLK stopped its production. Therefore, at the time of the flight into capitalist obscurity, the heel remained the only light delivery van in the USSR. Only warm words about the heel, only pleasant memories. And whoever scolds this car is young, God, and does not remember how IZH helped to survive. But you and I are not like that, right? And thank you to the owner of the car for allowing me to show it to you. The hunt continues.